Barb, you're here with all you're the one with the expert knowledge. Tell us what you saw today in the numbers that came out.
So, as much as I do want to talk about the numbers and I'll break them down, just we have to remember behind every number is a person.
Yeah.
That's something that is so important that we remember whenever there's lots of different statistics. So you heard in that piece that those young people, there's like around 15,000 fewer 15 to 24-year-olds who are employment than last year. So you heard sort of the framing of that in that 3 News story. Ultimately, unemployment has gone up. That's the major key line that you need to remember, because the number of it's increased to 5 point in New Zealand, it's just gone up. That's the most easiest way to explain it. The figures as well for Māori and Pacific still don't look great. So if you think
Yeah.
about the national average of 5.2%, Māori unemployment is at 10%, Pacific people unemployment is at 12.1%.
Wow.
So again, percentages, numbers, hundreds of thousands of people, 15,000 fewer for 15 to 24-year-olds. Again, it's all people that we're talking about. And so the key thing is unemployment has gone up. Christopher Luxon did promise that he would make things better. They have gotten worse. Their plan is not working.
160 odd thousand people, like you say, are people, not just an individual number. That's probably also, 100 to 150,000 households where life is going to be so much more difficult than maybe it was 12, 18, 24, 36 months ago. I just saw a chat go past. I didn't mark it, but it said Trump's tariffs reason for unemployment are COVID, all Labor's fault. It's this idea of blaming external pressures now that they seem happy to do, but not giving any credit for external pressures. When it comes down to it, what do we attribute to those international pressures? Because look, I get you. There are some. That's what we've been saying all the way through. The only thing we don't do is allow this government to use the excuse they wouldn't let the last guys use. So that's where we put our line. But there are always going to be international pressures. Things like Trump's tariff and the dollar and what's happening internationally. How much is that impacting the numbers of unemployed today in New Zealand versus just the work of this government or lacking in of that work?
And so there's, as you say, there's always going to be global headwinds. When during our time it was COVID, and the government keeps referring to the tariffs. But when those times are tough, that's when the government should do and can do more to help provide well-paying jobs. So, for example, what they've done in the infrastructure and construction sector by pausing, cancelling, and reviewing government projects, boom. That's why you see 18,000 less construction roles. That's why we see that young person on that 3 News who was an apprenticeship Sparky. There is no pipeline for probably his firm or the firm he worked for to keep going, for work to keep going. These are all government decisions. When you pull a handbrake on billion-dollar projects, this is exactly what happens. And I know I've said this a number of times on the show, but it's very plain and simple economics. When the market is failing, that's when the government invests. And that's not what we've seen with this government. And they're continuing to cut the things that would help the economy move.